What a gorgeous Sunday. People are really hitting the links today. I'm thinking about the Dateline NBC special from Friday. It was titled The Last Ride, about the murder of Mo Wilson, that 25-year-old cyclist who really had so much going for her. But the main thing I'm remembering is Kaitlyn Armstrong, the one who's been accused of doing away with Mo. Her lawyer, oh my goodness, what a defense attorney. And Keith Morrison gave him the business in a good way. He wasn't taking his fluff. Keith Morrison stated several facts, such as the SUV with the intricate bike rack spotted creeping around the house at the exact time when Mo was killed. So much circumstantial evidence, but Kaitlyn Armstrong, after she was captured, back from Costa Rica, St. Teresa, a little spot where she began to teach yoga, hang out with the locals. She met a guy who was kind of like her boyfriend. He was interesting. He was shirtless with his, what is she looking at? Shirtless with his cool shorts on, a hang ten type of lifestyle, a beach bum. He had gotten over a breakup. Of course, Kaitlyn didn't reveal to him that she was on the run, most likely getting a nose job, paying more than $6,000 for it. He seemed a bit older than her, even though Kaitlyn was, I believe, 34 she is. We know Mo was 25, 9 years younger than her. Sounds like a beautiful family. I remember reading her obituary, and they spoke about her being in the arms of Jesus. They sound like a family of believers, very active family, got their kids into sports and racing and skiing and all those things, and Mo really had the gift of endurance. So of course she was a thorn in the side of Kaitlyn Armstrong, who had a relationship with Colin. They showed Colin quite a bit, but it's a trip that, even though Colin seemingly defended Kaitlyn, like she would never do this, she would never harm anyone, she wasn't really the jealous type. Well, I don't know, her actions speak differently. The way Kaitlyn would call Mo to the point where Mo had to block her, saying, there's stuff falling off the trees. Mo had to block her after Kaitlyn is like, look, stay away from Colin, he's my man, and all those things. And Kaitlyn even followed Mo on Instagram. Colin had to do the old Playboy thing, changing his contact information for Mo to a different name, so Kaitlyn, who would go through his phone, wouldn't see all that. But apparently, Colin and Kaitlyn's relationship seemed more businesslike. They had been together, I guess, on and off for 3 years. And it wasn't going anywhere, it seems. I don't believe they were engaged. I'm sure, like I said in my older videos covering the case, you can check back. I'm sure Kaitlyn was likely ready to get married. They showed what a catch Colin was. Colin and Mo pretty much at the top of their cycling game. Mo reaching the top of her cycling game, but not given the opportunity. A life cut short. They showed the race that Mo had traveled from San Francisco to Austin to ride in. That's why it was called The Last Ride. but just how heartbroken some of the cyclists were when they heard the word, when they heard the news of Mo being killed. Back then, it was only 3 days after her murder, so they didn't know much about what had happened. But of course, more information would come out. But oh my goodness, this criminal defense attorney, he used to be a prosecutor. He kind of gives attorneys a bad name, in my opinion. Looks like he's turning the tide, even though Colin defended Kaitlyn like she would never do anything like this. It appears as if they are going to cast doubt and dispersions upon Colin perhaps being the killer. They make it sound like Kaitlyn had every right to run away because there was not an active warrant for Kaitlyn at the time when she fled to New York to see her sister Christine at that Camp Haven place. And then she got on another plane, I believe out of Newark, and just head down to another country on the run. She cut her hair, she dyed it darker, and I think a jury will be able to understand and corroborate that she indeed got a nose job. All you have to do is look at before and after photos, and you will be able to see the difference, even though the receipt that was found states a different name. It doesn't say Kaitlyn Armstrong, of course. She was going by Ari to others in Costa Rica. But the receipt for the plastic surgery stated Allison, a different name. So her lawyer's trying to give us the business and say, we can't even prove she had plastic surgery. He was trying to tell Keith Morrison, I'm 98% of the things you just said I will be able to prove. They aren't true. But he didn't want to give up his defense. Sure, Jan. But he did claim the major point will be that Kaitlyn wasn't in the area at the exact time of Mo's murder. Indeed, they only have an ear witness, the man who rented the home, the man who was the, rental owner of the home where Mo stayed when she was killed. They only have him as an ear witness, hearing someone run down the stairs, thinking he saw a bike, apparently probably that bike that was Mo's that was ultimately ditched just a few hundred feet away in some bamboo. So, unless they have better evidence, they don't have necessarily video evidence that shows Kaitlyn's face per se, but I believe a jury is way smart enough to put two and two together to figure out who killed Mo. And even though it wasn't necessarily in her wheelhouse to do such a thing, I think Kaitlyn flipped out. Part of the affidavit said she was shaking with fury and anger, and she even said, I'm going to kill that girl. Once she figured out Colin and Mo were still seeing one another, I'm assuming on and off since towards the fall of 2021, and perhaps maybe whenever they met at races, whenever Mo happened to be in Austin. That part is not really clear. All the leaves falling so pretty. The dogs want to go that way. I want to go this way. So let's close it up. There were things I learned. The guy that Kaitlyn hung out with, he gave us more insight, but boy, that criminal defense attorney, don't bear false witness. Isn't that one of the tenets of the Bible? And I think there's a way you can defend a person and bring doubt without out and out lying. And that's the rub. That's what I have against certain criminal defense attorneys full of pride and hubris It just seems like this guy is. Thanks.